Now, at the peak of the slavery, they set a day aside called the Black Friday. The Black Friday, where they reduce the price of the slaves so the master will go out and buy more. So the genesis of Black Friday came from slavery.
I didn't know that.
Just learning today.
Wow. Wait, they gave a discount to people that own slaves. No, to get more slaves.
Yes, so that they can get the money to the economy.
Black Friday.
Yes.
I'm not doing that.
That's a hot mess.
And when America's economy was in shambles, they gave a discount to the slaves so that they can inject the money to the economy. You will be added to one person and they price it as one commodity. Meaning when you buy one, you take one free, so 2 for 1. And the ships were bearing names that God is able, Jesus, Liberty, Savior, and so forth. Now you'll be surprised. Up here was a church. About the dungeon was a church. They had a slave left the church.
The dialogue about Black Friday is asking your perspective. Why do you think that dialogue is not transmitted from here to...
They turn the story upside down. They're not telling that the truth.
They're not telling the truth.
Good. So unless we come to Africa, before they tell the truth about the whole slavery or the slave trade.
And personal experience being of Ghanaian heritage, living in North America, one of the issues that I think I had to deal with is African Americans, they actually look down on Africans. It's changing, but because of that dialogue, I don't think could have been started, because as soon as you start, it's dismissed. Now that it's changing, I think we might get more of that dialogue starting.
How is it dismissed?
It's like you don't know what you're talking about. You're from Africa, we're not even going to listen to you.
I think that at the end of the day, it's like, okay, my bottom line is I'm saving money and I need to, work and save money within this social structure.
You're going to have the people who are trying to survive, and if you're trying to survive, your primary goal is, I'm trying to survive. I'm not worried about history.
I ain't trying to hear about all that.
I'm not worried about that. I'm trying to survive.
Right.
But once you get to that point and you have survived and you have, I'm going to use the word evolved, and you understand that, then you can make those choices. But if you don't have an opportunity to make those choices and you're not in a position to make those choices, there is no way you're making those choices.
It seems like those who are in a position to make those choices, right, are the ones with money, but they got there because there is self-survival, for the most part. Because not all African Americans look down on Africans.
We've been taught to hate African culture, to change our skin color, to change our hair. That is now changing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are now embracing Blackness in a different way, and it's directly connected to Africanness, like being African. And I think that's the difference. I feel like it started as children. Americans in general are not respectful to immigrants. I think that is a cultural thing that has been passed down and passed down. So we as African Americans have to almost retrain our brain, because we're not taught history. We already know that, right? We're not taught true history.
If you don't travel, and unfortunately, again, the North American media and what we see, even growing up in Canada, what I saw on TV was totally different than what I experienced when my parents brought me back, when the famine was going on in Ethiopia.
Everyone.
And you turned on TV, and all you saw were, kids with flies all over their face, and that was Africa.
Ignorance.
The whole continent of Africa. That was the whole image.
Yes, Africans were living on trees.
And my parents brought me back here for vacation, and then I landed. I'm like, oh my God.
Look at the monkeys.
This is,
There's food?
I mean, this is totally different than what is portrayed. So if you don't travel and you have no interest of it, and that's all you see, that's your image, and then that's it. That's where it stops. You have no interest to expand on that.
I cross-referenced what our guide told us in regard to Black Friday. Britannica and History.com had a different version of his point. Who do you believe? American historians of New York robber barons of Wall Street, which Wall Street was an actual site of slave trading blocks? Or would you believe a gatekeeper of one of the main ports where the majority of slaves were shipped from? I urge you to partake in this call to action. Familiarize yourself with the details given. Did slavery truly end in New York in the 1820s? If that's the case, then what were the lynchings in the 1850s? The last slave ship. True story of how Clotilda was found, and that it was in operation 50 years after the Atlantic slave trade was outlawed. The man who wrote 12 years a slave. He was a free man, kidnapped, taken into slavery. He was not the only. These are stories that we should take into consideration, but also living in the present, being aware of the past. Get your discounts. Never again.